Hey, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you've never been around here, my name is Mary and I like to sew things. Because I have a little bit of a fabric obsession, I recently started a sewing series of a destashing fabric marathon. And so I will be using this white linen. Actually it's a blend with viscose and linen. And for the skirt and for the blouse, I will be using this light cotton. And for the skirt, you'll also need a wide elastic. I will be using 3 cm one. And now regarding the patterns, for the blouse, I'll be using this pattern, which you can find the link in the box description down below for the pattern, so make sure to check it out. And for the skirt, we'll be drafting a pattern. It's quite easy. To draft the pattern for the skirt, you'll need two measurements, your hip circumference and the length of the skirt. So measure your hip circumference if you don't know it already. So grab your measuring tape and put it around your hips and measure your hip circumference. And for the length of the skirt, put your measuring tape at the waistline and see how long you want your skirt to be. And now let me show you how to draft the pattern. I will be using my Illustrator to draft the pattern. Now that you have your full circumference measured of your hips and the total length of the skirt, you have to draw a rectangle. So the measurements are your hip circumference divided by 4. And for me is 94 centimeters divided by 4 will mean 23.5. Let's say 24. And the height is your skirt length. And for me it will be 90 centimeters. And this is my rectangle. We can see from the photo that it's gathered at the top and it's kind of in an L-line shape. So at the bottom it should be bigger. So we have to add more to the bottom. And to do this, decide how much you want to add. If you want it bigger or smaller, it's up to you. I think I will add 10 centimeters extra. And now I will unite these points. And your bottom line with the seam line should form a 90-degree angle. And you have to draw the bottom line in a sort of curved line so it can form the 90-degree angle. And now what you want to do is to also add your hem allowance and the waistband allowance. So regarding the waistband, I will be making the waistband integrated with the skirt. So I won't be stitched separately. So because I want to do this, I have to add my seam allowance for the waistband, and this depends on the width of your elastic. Because I'm using a 3 centimeters wide elastic, I have to add 3 centimeters extra plus 1 centimeter for seam allowance, which will mean that I have to increase my top line of the skirt with 4 centimeters. And for the hem allowance, to create this effect from the photo, I have to make a double folded hem. And I see that it's quite large, so I think I will add some 8 centimeters extra for the hem allowance to my skirt length. And now, because we've added also seam allowance to the waistline and hem allowance, you only have to add seam allowance to the side seam, 1 centimeter, because this side here, will be placed on fold. And you'll have to cut two, one for the front, one for the back, and it's placed on fold. So this is double. This is the panel for the skirt. And now I'll cut them from my fabric and come back with the next steps. Start by placing your panels of the skirt right sides together. And you only have to stitch your side seams. And because my fabric is see-through, I have also cut some lining panels. I have used the same pattern, but I've modified it at the bottom. I have shortened my lining with 5 centimeters. And now we have to also stitch the linings together if you are using lining. And I'm stitching the panels right sides together on the side seams. If you have a lining, now is the time to sew the skirt and the lining together. So you have your skirt on the right side and also the lining on the right side, and insert the lining inside the skirt. And match your side seams. And pin your lining at the top. And I will quickly do a basting stitch to keep this in place. What I want to insert also to my elastic waistband, it's a string, so I can also tie the skirt up in the front. So to do this, I have to create 2 buttonholes so I can insert my string in the elastic waistband. What I folded on the wrong side my waistband, 1 centimeter and then 3 centimeters, the width of my elastic. And here I've marked the middle of the total length of my skirt. And on this middle, and I will also mark again my middle here of the width of the waistband. And from this middle, I will measure 2 centimeters to one side and 2 centimeters to one side. And here I will create my buttonholes. And I will create my buttonholes using my function on my sewing machine. And now I will open my waistband, so I won't stitch on this side, and I will do my buttonholes here and here. Again, if you don't want to do this, you can also skip this step. Let's open the buttonholes. And now let's press the waistband. So fold 1 centimeter your top edge. And now press again the width of your elastic. When stitching the waistband, don't forget to leave the opening so you can insert the elastic. And now let's insert the elastic in the elastic casing. And the measurement of the elastic is the measurement of your waist. So put the elastic around your waist and see how much it is. Insert it in the casing. Overlap your two ends of the elastic and stitch them in place using a zigzag stitch. And then stitch your casing closed. Stitch your casing closed. For my strap, I've cut length I've cut the remaining fabric that I had, and this is 6 centimeters wide, and I will double fold it and stitch with, let's say, 1.5 centimeters away from the fold. Right side, I have turned my string on the right side and press it. And now let's insert it into the channel, into the waistline. And now let's create the hem. So I will fold mine 4 centimeters and press it at 4 centimeters, and then I will also fold it once again and press it. And now stitch it in place along the folded edge. If you have a lining, don't forget to also make the hem for the lining. And I've made these knots to the end, so I want to lose my string inside the casing, and this is it. So here I've cut my panels, 4 for the front and 2 for the back. I've chosen to use another fabric for the other side, so my blouse will be reversible and I can wear it both ways. And the both are cotton and the same weight, very light. And now let's start with the back. Place your back panels right sides together. Now stitch along the bottom with 1 centimeter seam allowance and at your neckline with 1 centimeter seam allowance. now let's press. Now take your ties and we have to fold them right sides and stitch it 1 centimeter from the raw edge, and also stitch one short end, leaving the other short end open so you can turn them on the right side. I have turned them on the right side and now let's press. On all 4 pieces of the front panels, mark your notches for the ties at the center front. Place your back panel. Take one front panel and place it right sides. And arrange at the shoulder seam, side seam. Turn it on the other side and put right sides together, the other panel. And pin at the shoulder seam all 4 layers in place. At the front, at the shoulder seam, you should have around 1 centimeter extra so you can stitch the neckline for the front. And now let's arrange the side seams, all 4 layers. Now roll the back inside the 2 front panels and move the back out of the way and pin along the bottom for the front panels. And now you also have to pin your ties, so place them inside at your notches and make sure the tie is with the raw edge here, and place the other front on top and sandwich the ties between the 2 layers. And now let's stitch this in place. You can start from the shoulder seam, go around the neckline, stitch your center front along the bottom and then the side seam. Or the other way around, the side seam, the bottom, the center front, the neckline and the shoulder. Also, when you stitch, I recommend to stitch a few times over the tie so you will be sure they will be secured in place. What I forgot to mention is that at the armhole line, on the side seam and at the shoulder seam, you have to leave 1.5 centimeters unstitched here and here, so we can finish the armhole later on. And now let's turn it on the right side through the armhole. And this is how it should look on this side. And now let's stitch also on the other side, and you'll have to roll this and put it inside of the front 2 panels. Now let's finish the armhole. So what we have to do is I'm using my tailor Sam to help me. What you have to do is to fold this edge 0.5 centimeters and this edge 0.5 centimeters and press it. So I'll be folding this edge for 0.5 centimeters and press. And then I will also fold the other fabric 0.5 centimeters and press it. And now all you have to do is to pin them in place. So put your edges right side to right side. And pin them in place. And this is how it looks, the finished armhole. You can also apply bias tape if you don't want to finish it like this. And now let's do on the other side, and the blouse is ready. Another sewing project completed. I hope you enjoy watching this video, that I was able to teach you something new today. If you do try to make this set, please tag me on Instagram using Mary the Dressmaker. I would love to see your creations. Make sure to subscribe to my channel because, as you know, we have a lot of sewing projects on our hands, so let's be sewing friends together. Thank you so much if you purchase my sewing patterns. It means a lot to me. If I've missed some steps or misclear information, let me know in the comments down below. Contact me on Instagram, email me. I would happily help you. Thank you for hanging out with me today and happy sewing!